Hi everyone, it's Adrian Leah. This is going to be a reading. I wanted to do a reading. I haven't done one in a couple of days, and the last one was um like a mini reading and kind of words of encouragement to fill the days up with I can instead of the mindset of I can't. And I'm not saying whether or not somebody is an underdog. And that's not a bad thing by any means. I feel like it can be um, a glorious thing to be because you've gone through all the trials and built up your strength and stamina. And it's not from like a pompous perspective where you feel like everything um, is just given to you, or you were like feeling like you're better than somebody else because you were able to grasp a concept or something quicker than another person. I feel that if you're the underdog, it's definitely a more down to earth energy, and all that time it isn't for nothing and people can't take that away. And I feel like it's more humbling too because of how hard you work to get to the place that you're at. um, and the underdog stories are more interesting anyway. I did start off with an oracle card from the um, Tree Angel Oracle deck. I didn't turn the card over yet. I do like the book. I don't usually read the books, but I will at the end of this reading because I like how direct the writing and the deck is. And it does feel like it's a down to earth deck even though it's technically an angel deck. The energy that I'm getting, well, I am pulling from the Glory to Ukraine Tarot, and it's not jittery. It's like when your hands are shaking, like if you've gone through something traumatic or about to do something that's daunting, that kind of like hand trembling. Um, Even a type of performance too or action. Because it can feel like a little bit of stage fright too. It was like this video that I saw um, like mini video where the person was wearing a protective mask, like glass or whatever they're made out of, while they were using, is it the electric saw, the circle one that you, I don't know how it went, but basically something broke, and then the blade like came flying at her face, and then it didn't get to her face because she wore a mask. And then when she was like taking like it off, like she um was she taking the mask off, or she was either that or she was like taking the blade off, but I think maybe she was like taking the mask off. I don't remember. But like her hands were shaking. It kind of is that energy. The Earth Side Divine Tarot. So I shortened my nails on this side. I only did one hand because it takes a long time, and I'm like, I don't feel like doing this right now. So what's nice, like when you do it at home, you could just say like, whatever, I'll just do a bunch of other things and mix this in to this, whatever you're doing. So I still had to do this hand. And another specific message that it's like, I don't know if roles are reversed, because what's coming to mind is one of my other decks, the Slavic Tarot. And I know I have a couple of Slavic decks, but this one is actually called the Slavic Tarot. And this is also a specific deck because most decks don't do this. It flips the elements of fire and air, like their suits are switched, like swords go to the fire element and the wands go to the air element. And I started to like to film at my mom's sewing machine table that I'm using for my sewing machine, because there's a little bit of space left to where I could kind of use it to put my laptop on there. I am not working on it necessarily. Like I got the lighting kind of adjusted, and then I think I might put like books or something underneath the laptop because the laptop is lower than how it would be when I would normally have it. It's still different, but I I'm trying not to do everything at my, well, in my bed. And I got these the other day. They're mainly for, well, in general, you would normally have it for quicker answers or like a question or a yes or no question. Um, something like directly asked. The Piatnik Magna Carta, and I got it at the Hungarian market. I just felt like maybe it would be cool to pull some cards out too. So this is a little more specific too, and the card system is different than the other card system that I'm normally used to. This one has less cards. So you have the Seven of Bells and then the King of Cups. So more specifically with the bells, they are associated with um, finances or working towards something. It's separated from the wands or like the acorns, where it's more associated with jobs, but this is like a money gain or still working towards um, that profit. So since it's a seven, it tends to be on, well, it's on the lower spectrum. It's not a bad card. And when you're associating it with the King of Cups, it could be something that could be satisfying towards a family or like relationship type of gain where it's going to be beneficial for you to be more comfortable and work towards those aspects of life. Again, this is more of like a specific deck, but I will say that if you are thinking about wealth, it's not necessarily not there, but it is either slowly coming in where the profits are small, but there's still like the satisfying energy where it's palpable, where you could use it to your desires. I do feel like there's an appreciation coming from the King of Cups when you have this combination. And with that, already coming out strong, there's the Star card, Major Arcana, with the Ten of Cups. Minor Arcana, but still a nice card to have for sure. And you could even associate the Ten of Cups with the type of community. It doesn't seem like a one person type of situation, but I don't feel like it would be like polyamorous or anything in terms of relationships, just because there's a sense of harmony there unless is on the same page for that. I'm not getting that for this reading, but it does seem to be that there are hopeful prospects for things and even making adjustments for the physical aspect. So the money that could be put towards maybe building structures if they were collapsing or you're working on it. It could be things in your environment too. Because like it's interesting because as I'm saying that, the obstacle is the Eight of Cups. And because the fire's there, it kind of reminds me of the Eight of Wands. I say that, and how to overcome the obstacle is the Queen of Cups. So the Eight of Cups with the Queen of Cups. It can be a sensitive time because Queen of Cups, I'm not reading for signs necessarily, but you could associate it with like Cancer energy. And it tends to be more of like a sensitive, sentimental type of energy that I'm getting. And the Eight of Cups is one where a lot of times well, traditionally you're leaving something behind. And so there might be like some bittersweet energy that comes from that. And it's almost like what was or and what is right now. There is an energy of like that's deeply rooted. The queen it could be an evolution of the Page of Cups because there's the Page, Knight, Queen, and King. So it could be a more experienced or an older energy where they have seen things and maybe the corner store or the place that they used to walk to, it's not there anymore. The tree that they loved or the garden that they had is not in the condition that it should be. There's just something that is off putting about it, but there's also the energy going back to the beginning where there's encouragement onto, well, like not to have your hope or courage and perseverance, those types of energies get taken away from you. It is like even though there's a humbleness to make sure that like you're standing tall and that you still keep your head up high so people can see and recognize um, who you are and the person that you've become and that you are um, unapologetically this type of person from this place that did this or that would do these things. These things are still deeply rooted, and um, it does give like a home type of energy that you get a little bit from the Ten of Cups. Sometimes I associate the home with the Ten of Pentacles, but the Ten of Cups isn't like they're all different energies in their own way, but when we're thinking about how the elements come together, it is coming together as a whole. That's how we think about it. Like when we're thinking about, oh my god, oh no, I did. I thought I didn't pull out all the cards that I was going to. Um, Thinking about the body and specifically Eastern medicine compared to Western medicine. Because the Western medicine, you're focusing on like one area or one ailment, illness at a time, where Eastern medicine, especially traditional Chinese medicine, you're thinking about the body as a whole. And you might have something going on up here, but it could be affecting something down there. And so it's maintaining that whole balance and balance of the body, homeostasis, that everything has that flow. I feel like with the Queen of Cups, it can be having that type of composure. Um, Even an energy of like having poise too. Not saying not to cry, but just because you're crying doesn't mean that they're gonna bring you down in that way, because you'll still keep going, and that'll be um, that journey for you. And as I said, no one can take that away. So it does kind of get like the energy of things feeling like it closes in. The past is the Ace of Pentacles of what has started. And then you have the Nine of Swords. The Nine of Swords, it does feel like it's one of those things where it keeps eating at you, or it's like it nags at you, or it's in your face in a way, even though it can be more of like the mentality or the psychological effects of it, because when we're thinking about swords, we think about the mind and that type of communication there. So, um, with that, it's and combined with the Queen of Cups, even though it's like overcoming the obstacle, that could help with the Nine of Swords too. That there's a lot of different things to manage because you're going from the cups and then going into air. The past was pentacles of something that was more solidified, and again, something that has started. So these two cards, Page of Pentacles and Seven of Cups, there's a lot of different energies going on here, so it does feel like there's a lot going on. The Seven of Cups, Conjurer, and then the Page of Pentacles, Hugin and Munin. Those are the words at the bottom. Hugin and Munin, Thought and Memory, like Odin's birds, and then the Conjurer. It does feel like maybe taking a little bit at a time if you can, certain aspects, even if you can't sometimes when there's an opportunity to take that breather. I know a lot of times, like I say that on here, and I feel like it's not really the type of thing that you're wanting to hear, because it's almost like when can I do that? But I see up here for the Conjurer, because the Seven of Cups is something where there are there's an assortment of things, and traditionally it's more of choices too. It doesn't feel like there's a lot of choices necessarily, but there's mushrooms here, and it kind of reminds me of like um those psychedelic mushrooms, as I guess you would call it, or shrooms if you call it like the street name of it, or magic mushrooms. And um there aren't well there isn't a lot of studies, there aren't a lot of studies, sorry, on it. And there there is like the worry of the side effects, as there are with many things, but even more so with plants, and something that hasn't been discovered too much. And a lot of the medicine is from plants. It's like the derivative, at least a lot of the active ingredients are. All that to say that microdosing or taking a little bit at a time can make a big difference. Like if you're able to put time towards this, and it could even be a priority too, then you have a little more time that you could do with this other priority. It does seem to be on the really busier end. With the Page of Pentacles, there could be a way of finding things methodical, especially with the Queen of Cups. Like there's something that's really led by their heart. And I was watching one reader and I did enjoy how she said that you know the cards in your mind, but you know them more with your heart. And I immediately like understood what she was saying about that because as much as I would want to give another type of reading or want things to be like this or like that, certain cards come out, certain messages come out, and if it was all flatlined or if it was all like up and up and up, it just wouldn't be a realistic thing. Um, so I know this can be a little bit like mumbo jumbo to some people, but I try to make it so you could put it towards some everyday experiences and bring it more down to earth so the message sinks more in and you can get something from it instead of thinking about something like if I say like 30 years from now you're gonna have $1 million. I mean, you might have $1 million, but I wouldn't say that those are the readings that come out of this. It definitely feels like a lot going on, but there can be a little bit of gain. And the Seven of Bells, I feel like it can go to the Page of Pentacles too. Page of Pentacles is one of those starter energies for the suits at least. So um, I feel like I can be working from the ground up at this point, and maybe that's something that the Queen of Cups is going through. There might be things there, but there are things that are so different now that we're trying to make it all make sense in a way, even if it's like disastrously not making sense if you're in a war zone. But this is definitely straightforward energies, and even this card says fatigue here with the Nine of Wands with the King of Swords, and this is the straightforward type of business or realistic. I don't know if it's not necessarily business, but um, making those decisions and not putting a lot of heart into it a lot of the times with the King of Swords. King of Swords, and I feel like the sword suit in general kind of gets like the worst reputation. Um, it is a little bit of a reminder because going through the meanings for the Piatnik deck, it seems like for the sword suit, it's worse, even more worse, and the worst type of depression or um, something agonizing or just not the brightest of energies. But I feel that with the King of Swords there, it's like since there's so much going on, there's so much um, of everything else but the kitchen sink. I don't know if that's a thing in Ukraine, but everything but the kitchen sink is like a cookie that we have here, and it's loaded with all types of ingredients um, into it, like chocolate chips or pretzels, maybe potato chips. I don't exactly know what's in that cookie, but it's like a loaded cookie. Then they say everything but the kitchen sink because it has everything except like the kitchen sink. It's a phrase, I guess. And that's what I feel like the energy is coming to in this reading. Um, but it kind of goes back to like source too, even though it's not completely to source. So I do like this towards the end of the reading because you have the Four of Wands and the Eight of Pentacles because it's working for stability and the foundation. Um, a lot of times you can't associate it with it being with another person. I'm not saying like another person, like maybe if you're already associated with a person. I'm saying um, like if you see the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith interpretation, you might see people like in a garden surrounded by four pillars, and it kind of gives like a celebration and something momentous type of energy. The Eight of Pentacles is a diligently working energy for this reading, so that's like if you're trying to make it through something or you're trying to pass and get a grade or even fight for something, it could be um, on the patriotic side or in another aspect of life, but it just seems like trying to survive or get through these times, it kind of goes back to the idea of it all, like the foundation of it all, because four is the foundation number and eight is double that. So, um, could be like a working person, working man, even working woman, and building the type of home and family that they're they have or they're yearning for or they're coming back to. So I feel like that's a really nice way to end this portion of the reading. I didn't turn over the angel card yet, so this is the Black Poplar, and it does seem like a freeing card. We make another reading, not another. Well, I'll make another reading at some point, but I feel like I'm gonna maybe make a reading. Oh my god, I keep saying reading. I feel like I'm gonna do a lot of readings then in the future. A video of maybe knitting and studying on my other channel. And it might just be in the setting too. So Black Poplar The oracle, the wind blows away the past. Messages come from afar. The circles you tread reach far behind your knowing, and in your own life you'll find an echo of far off deeds. Look beyond your horizons. So I was reading off of this portion, like the picture with the caption, and the message is with the black poplar, it is as fresh. It is as if a breeze is blowing through your life. You're able to act with speed and flexibility, both mentally and physically. This is not a time to hesitate, but to move your belongings, yourself, perhaps even others. Poplar belongs to the element of air and Mercury, the winged messenger of the gods. Spiritually, new impulses and perspectives are winging their way towards you. Keep a deep breath, first out, then in, and enjoy your new sense of freedom as you fly towards new horizons. Embrace the new, especially watch out for the messages from afar. Ride the gusts of wind and dance in the breeze while remaining firmly rooted like a tree. Drink lots of pure water and allow it to dissipate into the air just as it evaporates from the leaves of the poplar. The water will purify you. Play sports or take part in active yoga sessions that will enable you to inspire. You also feel impelled to go outside in the rain and shout and call into the storm from the depths of your soul. Words and songs also belong to the mercurial realm of the poplar. A tree that moves so much, I'm so sorry, in the wind needs to have very strong roots. We can enjoy freedom heralded by the appearance of popular only if we're firmly grounded in our own authentic truth. Without poplar, we lack that deep trust and begin to fear change. Like life becomes stale, stuck in the old ways, and mired in outdated views. Hopefully you understood that because I kept messing up. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in another video.